There are moments in history that look powerful from the outside, but inside, they are held together by someone who is barely holding on. This is one of those moments. This is not the story of a miracle. This is the story of what happened right before it. Moses stood at the edge of the camp. The desert stretched endlessly before him. Behind him, thousands of people, hungry, thirsty, restless, waiting, always waiting, waiting for answers, waiting for direction, waiting for him. He did not turn around because he already knew what he would see: doubt, fear, and something worse, expectation. They think I am strong. Moses tightened his grip on the staff. They think I know where I'm going. The wind moved across the desert, but brought no relief. They think I was chosen because I can handle this. He closed his eyes, just for a moment. But what if I can't? It started quietly. A few voices, at first, then more, then many. Complaints, questions, whispers, turning into noise. Where is the water? How long must we walk? Why did we follow him? Moses heard every word, even the ones not spoken aloud, because doubt has a way of spreading faster than truth. Day after day, the same questions. Day after day, the same hunger. Day after day, the same silence from the sky. And with each passing day, Moses felt something inside him wearing down, not all at once, but slowly, relentlessly. That night, the camp was quiet, but Moses was not at peace. He walked alone, far from the people, far from the noise, far from expectation, just him and the darkness. Then, he stopped, and for the first time, he spoke, not to the people, but to God. Why me? The words came out heavier than he expected. Why did you choose me for this? His voice trembled, not with fear, but with exhaustion. I am not enough. Silence. I cannot carry them. Still, silence. I cannot carry this. Nothing answered. No voice. No sign. No miracle. Just silence. And in that silence, a dangerous thought appeared. Maybe I should stop. Moses looked down at his hands, the same hands that parted the sea. They felt empty. Maybe someone else should lead them. The staff in his hand felt heavier than ever. Maybe I was never meant to carry this. For a moment, Moses, the man chosen by God, considered something no one ever talks about: walking away. The crowd was still there, waiting, watching, but something had changed. They were no longer shouting. And somehow, that was worse, because silence means expectation has turned into judgment. Moses stood in front of them, not speaking, not moving, not leading, just standing. The staff in his hand, once a symbol of power, now felt like a burden, heavy, uncertain, almost meaningless. Inside him, everything was unraveling. No answer, no direction, no sign. He had called out twice, and still nothing. What if this is where it ends? Not with a miracle, not with victory, but with silence. For a moment, his mind went back to the sea, the impossible moment, the waters parting, the path opening, the people walking through. In awe, he remembered who he was in that moment, chosen, certain, unshakable. Then, the memory faded, and reality returned. Dry land, cracked earth, empty skies, and a people on the edge of breaking. Where is that power now? The question didn't come from the crowd. It came from within. Where is that certainty? Where is that God? His breathing slowed, but not because he was calm, because he was tired, too tired to even fight his own thoughts. And then something subtle happened. Moses stopped resisting. Not the people, not the pressure, but the responsibility. He lowered his head, just slightly, but enough, because in that moment, he wasn't trying anymore. Maybe they were wrong to follow me. The thought settled in, heavy, final. Maybe I was never meant to lead them. His fingers loosened around the staff. Maybe this was a mistake, not theirs, not the journey. He looked at the ground, and for the first time, he imagined it, walking away, leaving the crowd behind, letting someone else carry the weight, letting the story end. Right here, the wind stopped, the crowd faded, everything narrowed to a single moment, a decision: stay or leave, stand or surrender. And in that moment, Moses realized something most people never admit. It's not the pressure that breaks you. It's the moment you stop believing you can carry it. I can't do this. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, honestly, completely. There was no strength left, no plan, no answer, no hope, just a man standing in front of thousands with nothing left to give. And that's when it happened. Not outside, not in the sky, but inside. A thought, different from the rest. Not louder, but clearer. You don't have to carry this. Moses froze. The thought didn't feel like doubt. It didn't feel like fear. It felt steady. Then who will? Silence. Then, you were never meant to do this alone. Moses slowly lifted his head. Not fully, just enough. For the first time since the silence began, something shifted. Not the desert, not the people, but him. And sometimes, that's where the miracle starts. Because right at the moment, when Moses had nothing left, something was about to speak. There are moments when nothing around you changes, but everything inside you does. Moses stood still. The crowd was still there. The desert was still dry. The problem was still unsolved. But something had shifted. Not in the world. In him. The silence returned. But it no longer felt empty. It felt intentional. As if the silence itself was waiting. Moses lifted his head slightly. Not in confidence, but in awareness. And then it came. Not loud. Not overwhelming, but undeniable. Stand. One word. Clear. Steady. Final. Moses didn't move. Not yet. Because the word didn't just reach his ears. It hit something deeper. Stand, his mind pushed back. On what strength? With what answer? In front of them, like this. He looked at his hands, still empty, still shaking. Then, again, trust, not an explanation, not a solution, just trust. Moses closed his eyes, not to escape, but to listen, because trust is hardest when you have no proof. Trust what? The desert still had no water. The people still had no patience. The situation had not changed, but something inside him whispered, "It doesn't need to." Then, the last word came. Act. No delay. No explanation. No guarantee. Just, Moses opened his eyes. Slowly. The fear was still there. The doubt was still there. The pressure had not disappeared. But something else stood beside them now. Clarity. He took a step forward, not because he felt ready, but because he chose to obey. The crowd watched, confused, silent, tense. Moses walked past them, toward the rock, a rock that had nothing, promised nothing, offered nothing. This is pointless. This won't work. They will lose the last bit of faith they have in you. The thoughts came back, one last time, stronger, sharper. Moses stopped, just a few steps away. This was it. Not the miracle, not the water, but the moment before it. The moment where he could still walk away. Moses raised his staff, slowly, deliberately, not with power, not with certainty, but with obedience. He didn't know what would happen. He didn't know if anything would happen, but he acted. The air felt heavier. The crowd leaned in. The world seemed to pause, and for a split second, nothing happened. And in that moment, every doubt returned, stronger than ever. You were wrong. This was a mistake. This is where everything falls apart. Moses stood there, staff raised, heart pounding, waiting, because sometimes the longest moment in your life is the second, right before everything changes. The staff was raised. The crowd held its breath. The desert stood still. And in that moment, time stretched. 1 second, 2 seconds, nothing. Inside Moses's mind, everything screamed, "Nothing is happening. You were wrong. This is where it ends." His arm trembled, not from weakness, but from the weight of that moment. Then, Moses moved, not fast, not dramatic, just decisive. He brought the staff down, striking the rock. A dry sound echoed, hard, empty, final, and for a split second, it seemed like nothing had changed. Then, a sound, soft, almost unnoticeable. A crack. The rock shifted, just slightly, but enough. The crowd leaned in, eyes wide, silent. The crack grew, spreading, breaking through the surface. Faster, wider, deeper. And then, water burst out, powerful, unstoppable, alive. From solid stone came life, flowing, pouring, rushing into the dry ground. The sound filled the desert, not silence anymore, but abundance. The people stepped back, shocked, speechless. Moments ago, they were ready to break. They stood in awe. Some dropped to their knees. Some reached out their hands. Some simply stared, unable to understand what they were seeing. Doubt became belief. Fear became relief. Chaos became stillness. And in the center of it all stood Moses. He didn't shout. He didn't celebrate. He didn't even move, because he understood something in that moment. This was never about his strength, never about his ability, never about his control. It was about obedience. Moses looked at the water, flowing endlessly. I almost walked away. The thought hit him harder than anything before. I almost left right before this. And suddenly, the weight he carried made sense. Not because it disappeared, but because he realized he was never meant to carry it alone. The people came closer, but not like before. Not with anger, not with accusation, with reverence, with humility, with renewed faith. They no longer looked at Moses as the source. They looked beyond him. Water flowed, the desert drank, the people lived, and Moses stood between two worlds. The moment he almost gave up, and the miracle that followed. Because what happened next was not just about water. It was about something deeper, something that would stay long after the miracle ended. Because sometimes the greatest change doesn't happen around you. It happens in what you believe. After the miracle, the water kept flowing, not for a second, not for a moment, but continuously, as if the desert itself had been waiting. The people drank, slowly, at first, then desperately, then gratefully. Life returned to a place that had almost broken them. But something else returned too. Silence, not the heavy silence from before, not the silence of doubt. A different kind, the kind that comes after you've witnessed something you cannot explain. Moses stepped away from the rock, away from the water, away from the crowd, not because he was done, but because he understood something that few leaders ever do. This moment was not about him. He looked at his hands again. The same hands that once trembled, the same hands that almost let go. Now, steady, not because they were stronger, but because they were surrendered. Leadership was never about having all the answers, never about being unbreakable, never about always being certain. It was about standing, even when you felt like collapsing, trusting, even when nothing made sense, acting, even when you had no guarantee. Stand, trust, act. 3 words. That changed everything. Not the desert, not the people. Because this story was never just about Moses. It's about there are moments when your life feels exactly like that desert. Heavy, endless. People expect things from you. Pressure builds around you. And inside, you start to break. You question yourself. You question your path. You question whether you were ever meant to carry this at all. And sometimes, you don't say it out loud, but deep down, you think it. I can't do this anymore. And here's the truth. Most people never realize the moment you feel like giving up is often the closest you've ever been to a breakthrough. Not because everything will suddenly be easy, but because that is the moment you stop relying only on yourself. The miracle was never just the water. The miracle was that Moses stayed, that he stood when he wanted to walk away, that he trusted when nothing made sense, that he acted when there was no guarantee. Because if he had left just one moment earlier, there would be no miracle, no water, no story, just another man who almost made it. So before you quit, before you walk away, before you decide that you're done, pause, because you might be standing in the exact place where everything is about to change. Not when you are strong, not when you are certain, but when you have nothing left except the choice to stay. Because sometimes, the moment you almost give up is the moment everything begins.